Hello everybody, this is Naldo, and in this video I'm going to discuss a game I played yesterday at the BDO chess tournament in Haarlem, the Netherlands, against someone rated 1760. I was white and I started with knight f3, d5, b3, and I started with a modern type of setup, first taking some squares in the center with my pieces, and after it putting some pawns to there. And now I could have played knight x, but I was a little bit scared that at some point he could have played b5 at the moment he would lose the pawn. But with good help from his pieces, e5 may have been a possibility, so I played e takes. And now we see a couple of things. My bishop now is blocked by the pawn, and black has an open file to attack, and white has an open file to attack. Now on this file there's a c-pawn. This c-pawn is quite weak, and that's why my plan here was to play c4 sometimes, also to open up some space for my bishop, because if this d-pawn is not on the board anymore, my d-pawn has space to move, and so my bishop comes to light. Now we see here in this file, my knight here has an outpost on e5. It's very strong, and Nimzowitsch also tells about the knight outpost in his My System book, which is great. And well, we see how it works in this game. He played knight g4, pinning my knight, played bishop e2, e6, and now we're going to see something that Nimzowitsch discusses with the knight outpost, biting on granite, because this pawn, if you're going to attack it on this file, it's just not going to work because it's defended here by this pawn. But then the knight outpost comes into play. Now I castled, bishop d6, and now the knight outpost on e5. This is a good moment, and well, there are a few continuations. Knight takes, but this is bad because after he takes, there's a double attack on the bishop and the knight, so that wouldn't be very good. And after bishop takes, I would play d takes, bishop takes, queen takes, and then after something like knight d7, I would have played knight d2, castle c4, and we see now my bishop has a good line here on a3. This field might become an outpost now for my knight here after d takes, knight e6, and my bishop has somewhat more scope here on this line, and if I could get a knight here on d6 and it's taken and I take back with my pawn, my bishop has full scope on this diagonal. But we played bishop takes e immediately, we played queen takes, queen c7, putting somewhat more pressure on my knight, and here knight a3 was a possibility, threatening to come here and win this strong bishop here. And well, so he has to play a6, losing the move. And if I then would play c4, which is the idea, he loses a move, and then I have my support for c4. Then just comes bishop takes, knight takes, d4. So this just wasn't possible. So I didn't play knight a3, but knight c2, going for c4, and maybe for knight f3 supporting my knight, or knight f1 at some time supporting my h2 pawn, so my knight here can move. And then rook c8, doubling up on this file, maybe at some time attack my c pawn. So this told me that I had to play c4. But what if black would have tried to plan knight d7, trying to get my knight away? Well, I would have supported with f4, then f6 to get away. Well, normally this wouldn't be very good because this pawn would get weak, but now I just have knight h5. This, well, Fritz says +2 and this is just over. But let's go back to position where we were here and play rook c8, and here played c4. Black castled, and now play rook c1, and I get it on the file of this queen, so this is quite annoying and uncomfortable. Sometimes maybe if the file opens by taking with my c pawn or taking the d pawn, this queen could be harassed by my rook, so that's kind of uncomfortable. And now I played 97, maybe going for f6, but well, I just played f4, and if he would play f6 here after f4, then I would have just played 93, and we see the trick of the knight outpost. You get to the pawn that first was granite is now weak. So to get that knight away, you have to give up that granite and get a weak pawn. But letting that knight stand there is also not very comfortable because it's very strong there on e5. Played queen d8. I played queen g4, getting a little trick in it because I can play c takes, and if you would play e takes, then I just can take here this knight which double attacked and only once defended. So this pawn is now pinned, and a pinned pawn or a piece is not a very good defender. So knight f6, attacking my queen, and well, this was not very good for me because yeah, my queen is attacked. Where should it go? And well, maybe he wants to go to e4 with his knight, and this just is a problem because if I want to defend it here on g3, then well, my knight couldn't go to f3, and if I go to e2, which I did here, I just lose a move. Here I can go to f3 now with my knight still, but just lost move because here we had the same position, but then with the knight on d7. Now we have the same position, and now he is to move with the knight on f6. Well, now he's to move, and I think here I will end this part. This is part 1. Thank you for watching. Any comments or questions on YouTube, and watch part 2. Bye.